A question that has been on the minds of many Terrifier fans lately has been, how will Art the Clown regenerate his body? You might remember in Terrifier 2, Art the Clown came out of Victoria Hayes as just a severed head. But as we've learned from set photos and that teaser that dropped this past November, he's back in all his full glory, body and all. Today I hopefully have an interesting theory to pitch to all of you as to how I think Art the Clown will get his body back for this threequel. Now let's get into it. Before we talk about Ol' Arthur, I'd like to first thank my wonderful patrons. Without all of you, I wouldn't be able to post on here as frequently as I do, and I greatly appreciate you all. Please consider signing up for my Patreon today by clicking on the link in the description below, or by pressing the join button on my page. Thank you all again for watching. Now let's get into the theory. Ever since the ending of Terrifier 2, fans have been wondering what the next film will do to bring the iconic killer back for thirds. We've already seen him back with his full body, if it was in that teaser from last November or this still here where he appears bloody-handed in someone's attic. Something tells me whoever it is isn't alive anymore based on how much fun Art seems to be having here. So how did he achieve full body status again? Does he have a Deadpool thing going on where he can just grow body parts back, or has he already used some sort of healing ability in the previous film? I think so. Since his conception, Art the Clown has been known to have various supernatural properties. During the final moments of Terrifier from 2016, Art is resurrected by a sinister force to continue his killing spree throughout Miles County. In Terrifier 2, we learn that this entity takes the shape of the little pale girl. There are many things to love about her introduction, if it's the way she says hello by evacuating her bowels in front of Art, or the game of patty cake they play in front of an unsuspecting laundromat patron. Bad time to fall asleep in public, buddy.
Epic bad luck.
The element of this scene that continues to be overlooked is Art's eyeball. At the very top of Terrifier 2, Art makes a silly little joke about his messed up right eye by ripping one out of the head of the coroner as he slaughters him. Art's such a goofy little guy, ain't he? Later at the laundromat, the little pale girl pokes the eye in a super creepy exchange between the two monsters. After Art is all cleaned up, he leaves the laundromat with both eyes intact, like nothing even happened. We learned from interviews preceding Terrifier 2 that some sinister force would bring Art back to life in the sequel. Writer-director Damien Leone revealed this first on the YouTube channel Little Punk People, which features Elliot Fulham, better known as Jonathan from Terrifier 2.
People know that there's a supernatural entity that has brought Art back from the dead and sort of drives him through this entire movie and actually guides him to you and Sienna and puts him on this mission.
With the way Damien talks about the little pale girl and how she's integral to the events that unfold in the sequel, I think she not only resurrected Art, but can heal him too. She's essentially his guardian angel. There's of course more to it than just that, because I don't think the little pale girl can just make something from nothing. Remember, Art took an eyeball from the coroner, which I think is a big piece of this bloody puzzle. I think Art has to retrieve body parts from his victims to then attach to himself. The little pale girl uses some sort of demon magic to make it all work for him, which I know sounds ridiculous. It gives this slasher a unique ability that definitely can be compared to another franchise out there. We'll get to that in a sec. I think this would be a lot more interesting of an avenue to pursue for Art in part 3 that could make for some disgusting sequences. Think about this. Art is just a severed head where we left him at the end of 2, but what if Victoria rips apart the nurse and Chris Jericho to give him a body? On top of that, imagine a third act bloodbath where Art viciously rips apart Sienna's surviving family and bodies are sprawled all over the floor. Sienna uses the sword from the previous movie to cut off one of his legs and rushes away to call the police. He fixes himself up quickly, stealing somebody's leg with the help of his ghostly sidekick, only to attack Sienna again at 100 HP. If this were a video game, Art would be the OP final boss. I realize this pitch is very Jeepers Creepers inspired, but the element to this that could be interesting to explore and would make it a little different is how the little pale girl is involved. The Creeper, for instance, can just use any body part he wants to replace what he's missing. We see him do this a lot in the sequel, especially where he loses his head, takes takes somebody else's and just puts it back on like it's nothing. Arthur the Clown requires the help of whatever this demonic entity is. Unlike the Creeper, he can't just simply put it on himself. This could make that possibly overpowered dynamic a lot more interesting to explore here, and we might even be able to nail down a possible weak point for the seemingly unstoppable killer. If this is the case, Art could be separated from the little pale girl for too long and theoretically die. Somehow the entity resurrected him in the first film, but if Art's connection to the character could be severed, that would possibly keep him in the ground for good. This has me wondering if that element is explored in Terrifier 3 to potentially push the story forward. Damien has pretty much already confirmed that a fourth film is going to be in the works immediately after 3, so I don't think this will be the end of Art, but our main characters may figure out how to unlink this connection between these two sinister characters. There does seem to be a missing link in all of this regarding how the entity came to Art the Clown in the first place, with Sienna's mysterious father possibly being that component. Maybe we'll learn more about that in time. No matter what happens, we do know that Art is going to be more than a Walt Disney Futurama head in a jar in part 3. The opening scene of this film seems to be a mystery to a lot of fans, as some are speculating the movie will open right where we left off, just like how Terrifier 2 did, but others are honing in on another comment made by Leone. He's talked about how the opening will be controversial, quote, within the first 5 minutes, and he's compared it recently to the openings of Scream and When a Stranger Calls. The truth of the matter is Art's power might be established, but it's a tough thing to show on screen, especially if Leone wants to use it in such a liberal fashion. Art might regain his body off screen via the little pale girl, but it happens nonetheless. Damien's mixture of practical and VFX done by Josh Petrino, mad shout out to him, should be a testament to that in the previous film, where he never leaned entirely into CGI to achieve the kills he wanted. He wouldn't want to approach something like this in that same manner either. I do believe that whatever happens in this opening, it will feature a time skip though. Art has his body back after potentially yanking it from an unlucky fella, and also it's Christmas time now, not Halloween anymore. I'm excited to find out on October 11th when this movie finally drops. Before we wrap up today's video, I'd like to quickly ask you all to subscribe to my gaming channel, GullGotha. I'm currently playing through Poppy Playtime, and it has been an absolute blast. I can't go that way, I can't go that way, I can't go that way. Keep going, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Go, dude, go. Oh my god! Subscribe to that page now to help me achieve my goal of 1,000 subscribers before the end of the summer. Thank you to everyone who has already checked it out. This is just my theory based on the once damaged, now repaired Art the Clown. Something's going on there. It just goes to show that I've probably seen Terrifier 2 one too many times. God, I need Terrifier 3 in my life right now. Ugh. How do you all think Art the Clown will regenerate in Terrifier 3? Leave me something about it in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.